YouTube. So I'm going to my third week of 75 booked, and if I'm being 100% honest, I am starting to lose motivation a little bit. I'm really loving the challenge, but I just have a really crazy work life right now, and just working 10 to 11 hours a day. Even today's Saturday and I had to work a little bit, and then just getting the reading in on top of that, it is getting a little bit draining. But that's kind of the reason that I took on this challenge. I knew that the next couple months were going to be a lot for me, and I still want to keep reading. So right now in Northern California, we're having a really cozy, kind of rainy weekend, and I just thought that this was the perfect opportunity to just get my motivation back up. I'm reading Bunny by Mona Awad right now. This is a book that's been on my TBR for years and years, so I'm really, really excited to be starting it. And then the audiobook I'm listening to is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and I'm loving it, but I feel like it's taking me a really long time to get through it. Since it's on audiobook and it's a fantasy, I feel like I keep having to rewind parts just to make sure that I'm fully getting what's going on. So I've been listening to that all last week and then going into this week, and usually an audiobook I feel like should only take a few days. So my plans today, when I'm listening to the audiobook, I am going to be working on a set of press-on nails. I have bare nails right now, which almost never happens. So I'll listen to the audiobook then, and then I'm also working on an art commission for one of my book besties over on Instagram. I really can't see it on camera very well, but I'm almost done with it. So I just need to do the finishing touches on that, and then I have another commission to start. My cat is always moving the tripod. I don't want to move him though because I feel bad. Physical book reading. Oh my god, I have to move him. I'm sorry. Physical book reading. I do that better. I focus better on that at nighttime, and I'm kind of an insomniac, so I will be reading Bunny later on tonight. But right now, I'm gonna make another cup of coffee so that I can get focused. Alright, so I have my coffee made. I'm about to start my nails. Okay, I got this real quick at Anthropologie last week. I know that it's not Halloween anymore. It was on clearance for $6 because it's a Halloween cup, but I really don't care. Like, I'm going to use that thing into the ground. And if you know, Anthropologie cups aren't cheap. So yeah, I'm going to be listening to my audiobook. I was watching the new season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I'm so tempted to turn that on instead, because the first half of the season was so boring to me because it was just focusing on Jesse's affair. And now we're in the second half and it's actually getting good. So I really want to turn that on right now, but I need to listen to at least 45 minutes of my audiobook first. And these nails, if you do press-ons or if you do your own nails, I just started doing them. I'm shocked that it takes 3 to 4 hours to do, but I'm trying to save money and not go to the nail salon. So we do what we must. I never thought of all things that a gargoyle would be something that would have me on the verge of tears. Okay, that took so long, and I was just sitting here like, what if I just don't finish reading today? Like, what if I just count all that audiobook time as my reading time for the day? But no, it's midnight, but I'm still going to be finishing this 45-minute physical book session today. So I'm gonna start reading Bunny. I do like how my nails turned out though. There's like a snake and there's some flowers and just like random designs, and I had to sculpt some of the flowers and the snake. So yeah, I feel like it was worth it, but now I have to read for 45 minutes and it's the middle of the night. Okay, I have to get this off my chest. The side character that is always going to bother me most is the begrudged best friend that can't handle the fact that her friend has other friends. And if you read this book, you know that that is a big part of it. I get that it sucks feeling left out and all that, but like, you don't need to be acting like your friend has betrayed you because they got invited to a dinner party. It's so like this trope. I get why they have it in stories, but I just roll my eyes right when I see it. I can see it coming from a mile away every single time, and I always am annoyed. Ever since I saw The Princess Diaries and her best friend that got mad that she straightened her hair.
Who destroyed you? You look ridiculous. You should sue.
I just can't stand it. It like just sets me off immediately. And the really frustrating thing about this trope is even though that best friend is wrong for getting upset that their friend has new friends, they're usually right that the new friend isn't the best person to be hanging out with. So I'll have to force myself to agree with them about some things, but I really, really don't want to. Okay, I woke up so sick today and I'm really sad about it because I wanted to go to a coffee shop and read, work on some commissions, and like maybe do a little bit of walking around and just getting in my audiobook hours during that time. But yeah, there's no way I'm leaving the house. I just feel awful right now, but I did get that just like random burst of energy that you get at the end of the day when you're sick just because I'm so bored laying in bed. So I'm just gonna start my audiobook and get some laundry done and maybe clean up the kitchen a bit just so I can get my 45 minutes in. And then the rest of the night I'm probably just gonna lay in bed and read and maybe watch Frankenstein. I can't believe I haven't watched it yet. It's been almost out a week and that was one of my most anticipated movies of the whole year, so that's what I'll be doing the rest of the day. I'm like so upset about it. Right before 75 booked, I also got sick, and that was one of the reasons that I started it, is because I just didn't read the whole time that I was sick, and it just like kind of made me feel like I was getting into a slump just from taking a break from reading for that long. House chores, and that made me feel a lot better. I know you're supposed to rest when you're sick, but getting up and moving around does make a big difference. So I think I listened to like an hour and a half of the audiobook, and I really wish that I would have read the physical book of this because I'm loving it so much. But I also love the narrator, specifically the gargoyle. His voice is so cute and it adds so much character to him. I don't want to give any spoilers, but we're getting to the part where Sybil and I always forget his name because I think that they call him a few different things in the story, but our MMC, they're finally like admitting to each other that they have feelings and some things have happened between them. And I really like this type of intimacy where it's not just about the smut. She's really learning who she is as a person and learning how much power she has and how beautiful she is, and he's making her feel really comfortable. I really appreciate reading that type of intimacy. It's not that I don't like smut, it's just that I connect to this a lot more, and there's a time and a place for smut, but in fantasy, I prefer this. Another character I'm also really loving is the king. He's so young and so kind and a little naive. We just had a scene where she said that this was the first time that she saw him like really step into his own, and she noticed that he didn't have a glass of wine, and she was like, he didn't need like his liquid courage for this. I love seeing like side character growth like that, and I love a coming of age story, so it would be really cool if we had a story of him. And I feel like every time I say like, oh, I want this person to have their own side story, something happens to him, so I'm gonna take that back. This has like a really good cast of characters in this book. Her last series, I thought that was going to be like my favorite series of all time, just from the descriptions. I love gothic literature. I just love like a spooky setting, and I liked it. For some reason the characters weren't that memorable to me, and it just didn't end up being a favorite. It was really good, but I think I got myself a little bit too hyped up for it. So for this one, I went into it with no expectations at all. I kind of had a feeling in the back of my head that I was going to like it a little bit more because I love a lady night story. This one, I just have such a stronger connection with. I've seen a lot of growth in her writing in this book, and the characters are just so much more memorable. I don't want to say that this is going to be a 5-star, but it's really, really close. I think that if I would have read it, the physical book, then it would be a 5-star for sure. Maybe I'll reread it in a bit. Like minimum, this is going to be a 4-star. I also only have about an hour of the audiobook left, so I want to have my next audiobook on deck ready to go. I have the only hold I have right now on my Libby lined up is Wuthering Heights, but it's one of those versions that I could tell is meant for a college student, and it's not going to have a really character-driven narration, if that makes sense. There's another copy on there with a different narrator that I would rather listen to, and I think that I want to read that physically as well. I've already read Wuthering Heights, but I want to reread it before the movie comes out, and I want to annotate it. And I think I have a couple copies, and I think that I have a specific copy in mind that I want to annotate. So I'm going to look and see. I just looked by available now and audiobooks because there's none of... I don't know if every library has this, but mine has skip the line copies, where it's really popular copies that just no one happens to want at that time, and there weren't any good ones yet. So the thing is, like, the available now, they're always really popular ones, but they're always ones that it orders it by what's most popular, and it's already something where, like, I've already read it, or it's popular, I know about it, but, like, I just don't want to read it, otherwise I would have read it by now. So let's see. Like, all the Harry Potters obviously are like the first thing that comes up. They have Fearless available. The thing with this series, I liked it just okay, and I kind of want to read Fearless just to complete the series, but I'm not even that interested in it. And then my favorite character in that one is the king, the brother. I don't know why I have a soft spot for him. I just think he's really misunderstood. And my friends that read it, they said that they didn't like him by the end of it. So I'm kind of scared to read it. I just want to keep him the way that he is. I know he did something really messed up at the end of Reckless, but I don't know. I just think he's misunderstood. So I'm going to skip that one. Ooh, Divine Rivals. I haven't read that yet, and I feel like this is the perfect time of year to be reading it. And I love... Okay, I never hear anyone talk about her first series. It's more of an adult series. It's a cozy fantasy, and it's a mystery where there's these children going missing, and there's 2 people on this island trying to figure out what's happening to these children. And the magic system in it is with music. And I always hear a bunch of people saying that they did not like that series as much, but I thought it was so good. It's so beautiful. And then if you listen to the audiobook, the narrator has, I think it's an Irish accent. I loved listening to it. So if you heard anyone say, I'm trying to remember what it was called because I read it a couple years ago. I'll put it up here. But if you've heard anyone say they didn't like it, I would give it a chance. Especially if you prefer, like, adult cozy fantasy over YA fantasy. I'm gonna check out Divine Rivals, but I'm still just gonna see if there's anything else that catches my eye. But that's the reason I haven't read it yet, is because every single time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep that on my list, but I'm gonna see if there's anything else I want to read more, and there's always something. Silver Elite. I always hear people talk about that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not, like I was just saying, like that kind of romantasy. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just feel like I've read it so many times that I need a break from it. I should see if any of my 10 before the end are on here. One second. Let me pull my 10 before the end. So my 10 before the end are The Executioners 3. I DNF that one. The Night and the Moth, which I'm obviously reading now. Bat Eater and Other Names by Cora Zhang. I read that in my last vlog and I loved it. Almost a 5-star, but I think I rated it like a 4.5. And then the ones that I haven't read that I'm going to look for: A Very Secret Society for Irregular Witches, Buffalo Hunter Hunter, If It Makes You Happy, A Crane Among Wolves, An Academy for Liars. I already have a hold on that, and I think it's going to be available probably within the next couple days. And then Bear Towns. Okay, A Very Secret Society for Regular Witches has a 20-week wait. Like, is that gonna be like springtime before it's available? So I'm definitely gonna have to get the physical book of that one. A lot of these already have the physical book, so I'm not gonna look for the audiobook on those actually. So really the only one is If It Makes You Happy, and there's a 12-week wait for that, so that was a bust. So I found another book. So right now it's between Divine Rivals and The Maidens. I'm gonna check both of them out, and then when I finish The Night and the Moth, most likely tomorrow, then I'll decide which one I'm in the mood for. They're both in kind of an academic setting, but I feel like they seem so different. The Maiden seems a lot darker, and I think it's dark academia. I'm gonna stick with those two. Alright, so it is Monday, and I just wanted to wrap up this vlog. Finished The Night and the Moth while I was getting ready for work this morning. That ending really bumped it up to a 5-star for me. There are some things that I said about some characters earlier in this vlog that I have to take back. Or not take back, because my feelings about them at that point in the story are still true, but now there was a little twist that really set up the next book in this series, and it, like, I did not see that coming at all. I mean, I kind of saw that there was going to be some change up with this character, but not to that degree at all. And just the way that some of the characters really banded together in the end, just the growth that you see from these characters, and just the secrets that are revealed at the end that they've been holding in. I was really, really blown away by it. I really, really did not think that we were going to get twists like that in this book. And then Sybil's growth in this was so important and powerful to read. Just seeing her at the beginning of the book, she was so devout in her beliefs, and she was the more obedient diviner. Just seeing her beliefs being broken down, and then seeing how powerful and confident she becomes the more and more she learns about this. It was really, really powerful to see. And I cannot believe that I'm making this comparison, but I'm watching the 3rd season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Watching some of the women on that show being so devout in their religion, and then you talk about now how they are after they left the church and all the things that they've learned about themselves, about their religion. It kind of like, I don't want to say that it reminded me of each other, because that's kind of crazy to compare a reality show to this book. But just learning about religious trauma and coming out of religion is something that's always very interesting to me. So 5 out of 5. Love that book, and I cannot wait for the next one. It's probably going to take so long to come out, which I'm sad about. The other book that I read in this vlog, Bunny by Mona Awad. I'm not really far enough in this yet to give my thoughts on it. Other than that, the bunnies in it, I need to figure out what they look like. She's describing them, and I have a pretty good idea, and I saw that they're adapting this into a movie, and I cannot wait for that, because I'm so curious to see what the bunnies look like, just because they're all supposed to be very hyper feminine, but also very distinct from each other. It's kind of reminding me of Scream Queens with all the different Chanels. I feel like they're more clone-like in that. They all dress the same. They're also so distinct and have their own personalities, and it's reminding me of that. And I also love this. I wasn't expecting this book to be funny. It's very, very funny, and it has that dry, kind of dark humor to it. I'm probably going to carry that book into the next vlog, but I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.